Welcome to Creative Women. Tonight in Studio 10 we have Cathie Marrion, who was one of the founding members of Theatre Energy, now independent actress, but will be in a Theatre Energy production that will be starting in February called The Tomorrow Box. And Cathie and I were talking earlier tonight about ways of dealing with an interview situation, and this is wonderful because she is going to tell me what they do in theater for interviews.
Okay, I'll teach you how to interview me, but not interview me. You'll interview somebody else. I don't know who it's going to be. This is a technique that we use sometimes when we're trying to develop characters for an original play. If somebody has a feeling that they would like to explore, the character of a stevedore or a miner or an immigrant or whatever they want to explore more deeply, they can have everybody else sit out there and interview them as that character. Another way to work is to have nothing whatsoever in mind, like I have, nothing whatsoever in mind, and get you to start asking me questions, and out of my answers, I hope to discover a character that may be interesting.
Okay, should we try it? Cathie told me that I could make her anything I wanted, and immediately, these are the ones I'm not going to do, but immediately I thought of a transvestite, and I thought, why did I want to talk to a transvestite? And then immediately I thought I wanted to talk to a freshly raped woman. I thought, I don't want to do that. So I've got a millionaire. I have really never been comfortable with women millionaires. So I'm going to try to work with my intimidation of somebody who's a millionaire. So I would like to ask you how you grew up.
Well, to me it was a very normal upbringing. I suppose to most people it would be something very different. Of course I had people to help me with dressing and with choosing my clothes, and there was a great deal of security problems because my parents were terribly frightened of my being kidnapped. So I didn't have a normal childhood in that sense.
But when did you first realize it wasn't normal? Because then that would be by contrast.
I don't know. I suppose it was when we went to the beach. And I saw all the children playing on the beach, and they had their rubber balls and whatnot. And I wanted to go and play with them, and I just wasn't allowed. But it was okay. You see, it wasn't a really big problem because I had so many beautiful things, and I had my cousins to play with and at the beach, and I had a dear friend from the boarding school who had come home for the summer with me. It was just a feeling of prison. I was just.
But
there were barriers.
You were allowed to go to a public beach.
No, I wasn't. I looked at it through the hotel window. It was a private beach that I went to that belonged to a friend of my father's, a business associate.
Okay. What was school like? What was boarding school like? Or how early did you end up going off to boarding school?
I suppose I was about 9. About 9 when I first went. And, of course, I was frightened.
Did you have lots of friends that reinforced your situation because they were so much like you or came from families so much like yours?
Well, it was quite natural, you see. Yeah. And I had... the only thing that was a little strange about the school, a little different, they had several children from wealthy African families there. And so it was considered a very liberal school.
Okay.
And so I suppose that was my first introduction to
social.
What you may call social awareness, or.
Was it instilled upon you that in order to use your wealth responsibly, that you would be in a position to use power when you grew up, and therefore you might be?
Of course. I mean, that's I suppose the old way to talk about it is noblesse oblige, you know, that's a bit passé, but one does have a responsibility if one has a certain social standing and a certain amount of wealth to not just put blinders on and to see what's really going on in the world and to take whatever steps one can.
As an adult,
Yes.
what is the most proud enterprise, or the word's not enterprise that I want to use, and nor is it charity, nor is it philanthropy. I can't even use the word.
I beg your pardon?
I can't even pronounce the words. P-H-I-L.
Are you speaking of philanthropy?
Yes.
Philanthropy, yes.
What is the most feat, the most socially political feat that you've accomplished in terms of being able to give funds?
I am not. I'm not someone to put myself forward. I'm not in the forefront, shall we say, of any particular philanthropical organization. I prefer to sit in the background and to offer what assistance I can to those charities which I believe in. Did you want me to actually quote the organizations that I'm involved in?
Sure, I'd be very interested in what are the involvements.
Well, one of the organizations that I'm most excited about is one that is providing assistance for children in impoverished countries, particularly in the countries that have had natural disasters in the recent years. And those those children just simply wouldn't have any chance otherwise. And I have, in fact, adopted several children. I'm so proud of the little letters that I get from them. And it just, it's very important, and I hope that everybody gives within their means. There are many organizations. I think rather than naming mine, I would suggest that everyone look into what philanthropical organizations they can find.
I would like to ask you how it feels, as a second character study, how it feels to be tremendously poor without food.
Well, I'm sure I wouldn't know.
How can we do that as a second character study? The reversal.
Oh, I see. Cut. We were we were going on to something else.
Great.
I thought that was a wonderful question.
A question to ask the other
Yes.
person? Oh,
Yes.
shoot, I blew it.
No, that was just.
But that would
was
have been
fun.
great to do.
Yeah.
My imaginings are we could get so convoluted,
I
right?
was not liking these questions at all.
I know it. I know it.
Okay.
But you're
So
good.
what were we going to do now?
Well, the
You wanted
opposite.
to do
The opposite of a millionaire. The opposite of somebody. So my imagination. We
I
want
want
somebody
you
strapped.
to ask me from no knowledge,
Okay.
starting with my name and
Great.
any of those
Okay.
kinds of general
Super.
questions, and then
Okay.
start to work in closer, because
Okay.
then I'll
We're-
be able to get myself settled in the
Okay.
character
And fine.
a little
And
first.
in a sense, you're the one person projecting it. Hello. I'm so glad that I could meet you. My name is Lynn Bain, and your name?
Geraldine Seeks.
Geraldine?
Yeah.
How old are you, Geraldine?
41.
Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Are you a working mother?
When I can get the work.
Oh, you're having trouble getting work right now?
Yeah.
Have you had a long time having trouble getting work?
Well, I had a job last summer for a while in a cafe, and that didn't work out for too long.
Were you a waitress?
Yes, I was.
What kind of a job have you been looking for recently?
Most anything I can get, waitressing or sales.
Is it hard being 41 getting the job? It is. Are there social agencies that you've been going to that are trying to help you get it work?
You mean manpower?
Yeah.
I look at the boards of manpower, there's not much there.
Is that right?
I mean, you look at the boards of manpower, you see babysitter wanted,
part-time. You see heavy-duty mechanics wanted up in Kitimat or something. You see, I don't know, you just don't see too much jobs that I could get.
Wouldn't a restaurant want an experienced waitress?
Well, I guess if they wanted me, they'd hire me.
Yeah, it's tough, huh? So how do you support yourself?
Well, I get along. My son stays with me. He's brings in a fair amount of money now. And he comes home, he brings me some money, he gets food, and we get by.
Do you have a garden? I mean, do you grow a lot of your own food?
You bet.
Can it and all that?
Yeah, I can some.
You have one child or more than one child?
No, I got 4.
4 children?
Yeah, I got 4
What
kids.
ages are at home?
I got my oldest son home, and he's 23. And then my next oldest son, he took off, I don't know, I think he's in Vancouver now. Last time I heard he was in Vancouver. And he was looking for work too. And my daughter, she's at home. Well, she's 16.
Is she in school?
Carlene is in school now, and she's going to study, I don't know, last week she said she wanted to be a hairdresser. This week she says she's going to go into computers. I think she ought to go into computers because everybody says that that's what's happening. So then I got one who's, what is she? What's grade 5? 10.
10, huh? What's her name?
Her name's Karen.
Karen. So it's Carolyn, Carlene.
Carlene and Karen and Carl.
And Carl.
And Al.
And Al. Okay.
Al's,
the one that's bringing in the income?
yeah.
What does he do? Is he able to get...
Well, he's got a pretty good job. He's driving a truck, and he's working pretty steady now. And he's been working at that for a couple of years. And the boss is pretty pleased with him, and so am I.
When did you last work?
I told you last summer.
Last summer, okay. So are you getting social assistance for being able to make ends meet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it help? I mean, are you able to live off of that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you think would change the situation? Just being able to get a job, right? But there's not a lot of hope for getting a job. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I've been telling you.
Yeah. What would you do to change it? What do you think should be done to change the job market situation?
I don't know. I don't know. I just try to get by. I just try to get by. I don't watch the news much.
Do you vote?
Yeah.
Do you think that made a difference?
No.
Yeah. If you were to change things in 5 years, what would you do? What would you project to try to make things differently? If you wanted it, any way you could have it in 5 years, what would you want?
For me?
And your family.
And my family. Well, if I could change anything, any way I wanted in 5 years, I'd have a house of my own. And I'd have a real nice house. And I'd have wall-to-wall carpeting. And I'd have a dishwasher. And I'd have enough money to go on a holiday. And I'd have enough money to put my kid through college. That's the one that's in Vancouver. And I'd, yeah, that's what I do.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Things are bleak. What are you going to try to do to make it seem like a Christmas spirit in your house?
It's not bleak.
Not bleak?
No, it's Christmas. Same for me as it is for anybody else. My kids don't expect a lot. We're going to have a turkey like everybody else. We're going to have presents under the tree like everybody else. It's Christmas. We're getting by, and we all have enough to get each other some presents, and I'm pretty good at sewing, and I sewed some clothes for my kids, the littlest one anyway. Is it hard for you?
No, it's easy for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I have a job. So my situation's different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very lucky to have a job. I may
Mhm.
not have that job very long, so I
Mhm.
may very well be changing places with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good for me to talk to you.
Well, good.
Okay, should we cut?
Sure.
God, am I uncomfortable with that? That was good. Gee, I really am uncomfortable. I'm really surprised. Do you really think that she would have said it would be a fine Christmas?
I started feeling resentful of you trying
I
to
know you
get
did.
me to say boo-hoo, you know.
I know you did. I know you did. I felt it, and
And
I
I didn't, you know, and I lied a couple times too.
Yeah. No, I saw you do that.
Sure.
I saw the lies.
And I didn't vote, you know.
And didn't you vote?
No.
I would
But
have.
I just lied.
I would have said.
On TV, I'm going to tell them I'm a bad citizen. Are you kidding?
Right. I would have thought that you would have said the hell with politics, and then I didn't know that was what the lie was, but I did think that you were going to say, "Who are you asking me these questions?"
Okay, why don't I interview you and you?
Blah. Okay. So wait, do
Okay.
I pick the character? Or you put one on me.
Well, we're into rich and poor here. Take your pick.
It's good education because I'm probably going to be a lot poorer, so I'll pick poor.
Okay. Okay, you don't have to put anything on. I'll just ask you questions. And
Okay. Okay.
What's your name?
Sally Scott,
And where do you come from, Sally?
California.
And how old are you?
I'm 38.
38. Why did you come up here?
I married a man that lives here,
Uh-huh.
and so I wanted to be with him, so I came to Canada.
Great. And what are you doing here?
Well, I'm living here. I have a job as a librarian,
Uh-huh.
and I'm real happy with that, but that could be cut any time. So I may be losing my job, and that's very threatening.
Will you move if you lose your job? Will you look for another one?
Only if I thought I had another job, but all library budgets are being cut back, so there's no hope. I mean, I don't think I necessarily can move to another situation to get the job.
Are you happy with your husband?
Sometimes. Sometimes, but I wouldn't want to live with much less money and live with my husband. So I feel like it's all a package for me. So are you saying would I stay in Nelson without a job?
Yes.
I don't know. I really, all those people out there that are able to make ends meet all the time, I'm really impressed by it.
Right.
I don't know that I'm willing. And yet, I mean, it occurred to me the other day how funny it was that I was saying, I won't do it. I won't live on less. And then I thought, I don't have a choice. And I thought how funny it was that I was saying that.
Right. And you just have to get by.
You'd have to get by.
If you weren't a librarian, what would you do?
Well, I've never waitressed. And I don't know that at 38 I could waitress, but I'd try it.
Right.
I mean, I would go interview and see if I couldn't be a waitress.
Uh-huh.
Or paper route, or I suspect anything I could get. I probably was, if I thought I could, but see, Nelson's funny because I didn't think I could start cleaning houses here.
Sally,
Yes,
what's your deepest fear?
having no money.
Uh-huh. Have you always had money?
Yes,
Did you come from a wealthy family?
no, but
You
I always had
don't.
enough.
You always had enough. Well, could you not go to your parents?
No, not a chance.
Why?
Oh, because there isn't any. My father lost a whole lot of money.
I see. So there's no money to go for.
There's no money to go for. It would be on the line. I find that very scary.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Oh, green like money.
Okay, we'll cut that.
Okay.
How did that feel?
I didn't get too far away from myself.
Uh-huh.
I would have liked to have gotten farther away from myself. It would have been really good to have been far away from myself. Okay.
What do you want to do now?
So, okay. So so let's just discuss acting for a while,
Okay.
because that brought up the issue about how far away do you ever get from yourself? I mean, is that a measure of a good actor? How far you can get away from your own personality? to be I mean, you know, is it possible to be totally somebody else?
No, it's not possible to be totally somebody else, but you can experience moments when you click into something and it feels other. You're drawing on it on. Oops.
Yeah, he said he'd do that. That's okay.
I promised to do that sometime during the show, and I did. So, yeah, there are moments when you click into a character and you're drawing on material that's your own, but you draw on all kinds of other things that you don't know where they come from. One of the things that I do is I look at people. I'm terrible. I stare.
I know. I've seen you in restaurants.
I know. I'm shameless
No,
because I
love it.
really am interested in people, so I look at them a lot.
Yeah.
And I think all that stuff goes in, and some of it hopefully comes out.
When you're in that state of other, you're not even aware of it, are you? You're not aware of it until afterwards?
No, it's not like that. I think there's a tendency for people to want to believe about acting that you never see the audience, that you're in a trance, that you snap out of it afterwards, and it's like a possession. There are moments that are like that, but it's not all like that. There's a lot of time up there when you are very conscious of what you're doing, how you're doing it, you have to be in touch with the audience in order to keep the aliveness.
Do you change your lines very often to stay in touch with what's going on in the audience?
When I'm doing a scripted play, I don't have that freedom. But
true.
when I'm doing an original show, we can develop the script as we go. We can change things if we need to.
Which of Theatre Energy's plays that you've been in were original in the sense that there wasn't a script, that you could have that freedom?
Oh, well, most of the beginning ones, starting with renderings and voices and power play and Muck Millie
I
Virgil.
thought they were all scripted. I would have sworn you all... Really? That would be reason to go see them.
They're not ad-lib,
No.
but they started from no script.
Right, but then you had freedom, like in any particular locality, to change lines. I mean, you change lines?
Yes, but you can't just surprise somebody on stage. You know, if they're depending on a certain build in a scene, a certain cue, you can't slip them something different.
No. What was the most exciting or successful or fulfilling role that you've ever done? The one that you felt the best about, I guess I should say.
The next one.
Always.
That's
True.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say that each one of them has been exciting and challenging and all of those things when they were happening. I suppose I have some favorites. I had a lot of fun with a character named Geraldine in Power Play because she got to snipe and comment about what was going on a bit in a way that wasn't typical of me, I felt. She just came out of someplace. And there was another one in Power Play that was fun because she appeared full-blown in rehearsal one day. I don't know where she came from. She just went, and there she was. Her name was Penny, and she was the telephone operator.
Oh, that's right.
And she was just a crazy character. I liked her. I liked her a lot. Yeah.
If you had your choice for plays that you'd like to be involved with in the future, would you like the ones that are more tightly scripted or the ones that let the character evolve?
Both.
Both.
I like a balance. I really like a balance. It's really hard work to create a play because you're having to call on so many different parts of yourself, a writer, a director, I don't know what, set designer, all those different parts. And that's an incredible challenge and really exciting. But it's also nice to sink your teeth into a well-written piece of playwriting, especially if it says something that you can get behind, and really work on it.
Have you, as an actress, ever been able to have, I mean, I am familiar with your experience with Theatre Energy. I am not familiar with your other acting experiences, but have you ever been with a theater company that was so well funded that, in a sense,
No.
you could write your ticket? Would you like to be?
No. It's really funny question, Lynn.
Would I like to have the money to do anything I want in the world is basically what you're saying. And I can say yes.
No, that's not
then-
what I'm saying. But a theater company that would give you what you wanted. Not so much the money, but just a theater company that would give you what you wanted.
Okay. Well, you talked about well-funded, and that's a really
That would be, well,
complicated
that's-
issue because sometimes you find that if you have the money, you don't have certain choices open to you anymore.
True. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was perceptive on your part.
So let's get back to the question you really wanted to ask me, which was,
Okay. I'm changing my
I'm
question.
sorry.
That's true. I'm changing the
Well,
question
okay.
midstream. If you could write the ticket that you would like in theater, what would that ticket be? What would be the most idyllic situations that you right now in your life would like to try out?
I just go tilt when you say that because I'm at a place now where I'm not sure where to go next. There's a part of me that's very excited about using theater as a tool in working with other people who are not necessarily professionals, in finding a way to share that excitement that I experience when I'm putting a play together with other people in order to it can be used as a social consciousness raising tool. It can be used as a teaching tool. It can be used as a tool in therapy for a variety of different, either handicapped or disturbed or just frustrated people.
You gave me a glimpse of that tonight by asking me to be a character. So I could see that tool. I could see how exciting that could be.
Yeah. So it can be used as an exploration, and that's quite aside from anything having to do with performance.
I'd agree.
But there's a part of me that loves performance, and so that part of me has to be fed. How or where or when after my next show with Theatre Energy, I don't know.
Are there any, well, because theater runs can be short-lived, in a sense, wouldn't that give you the freedom to, be involved in a production, know when it would be over, and that you could balance, have a job, using some of the time for the therapeutic or for the creative tool, as well as a performance?
Sure. In the ideal world, that's just exactly what I would do.
That for sure means leaving the Kootenays.
It sometimes, in my mind, means leaving the Kootenays because there are people all over Canada who are doing interesting theatre that I would like to experience being part of. And there are people who can introduce me to ways of using theatre that I haven't been using before in this process-oriented approach. And part of it has to do with financial realities, you know,
All very
where
real
and
stuff.
when I can get work.
Real stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Well, that's all real stuff, but it all sounds so gloomy, you know, all the financial realities and oh. Basically, though, if I'm going to work in drama, or in theater, I'm not necessarily going to be well paid. I'm not always going to get the ideal situation, but I know that it's part of my life and it will always be part of my life. That's what I choose to do. And I'd feel real empty without it.
What's nice is to see the sparkle in your eyes to say that.
Yeah.
Like the absolute conviction of that
Yeah, that's true.
is very reinforcing and very up. It makes one, I feel very up by seeing that in you. Thank you for being here. I sure look forward to seeing tomorrow's box in February.
Oh, the Tomorrow Box. Yeah. That's
That'll be
going on
great.
tour through the Kootenays. It's by Ann Chislett. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it too.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.